Okay, hello everyone, welcome to the Flowers FX channel. Today we are going to be talking about one of the most underrated topics in the forex market, and if not one of the most underrated, it's one of the most important topics in the forex market. And sometimes ignorance of this topic might be one of the reasons why you keep losing on every single trade. Okay, so today we are going to deal with trends in the market, and specifically we are going to be targeting the bullish trends in the market. But what I will urge you to do is I would like you to subscribe to this channel, like and share with any other person that you feel would be appropriate to know this video. Now I wouldn't waste so much of your time, so let's get right into the video. Stay with me to the very end. Let's get right into the video. Now, as I said earlier on, I said we are going to be talking about bullish trends in the forex market, okay? And I am going to explain everything to you from the simplest part and gradually gravitate towards the complex structures. So anytime you watch a video concerning trends in the market, you would realize that most of the time they are always saying break of structure, break of structure, break of structure, break of structure. Okay, so today let's deal with the bullish trends, and I'm going to explain from the simplest to the complex. Now, what do I mean by a bullish structure? A bullish structure is basically a continuous break to the upside. Okay, a continuous break in the high to the upside. So let's assume this is a high, this is a lower high, this is a high, this is a higher high, this is a lower high, this is a higher high, this is a lower high. Now what I mean by saying a break of structure to the upside is basically a break in the structure of the previous high. Okay, a break in the structure of the previous high. So this previous high, you realize that in every bullish market you realize that there is a consecutive break in the structures. Anytime there is a new high formed, the new high would always be greater than the previous high. That is what I mean by a break of structure to the upside. So this is what basically you are going to be seeing in most of the videos. This is the simplest. Okay, now the question that you would have to ask yourself is how many times does this thing happens on the market? Because probably you open your chart, and after learning this, you realize that 90% of the time that you open your chart, you will not see structures like this one. You will not see structures like these. Okay, so the question you would have to ask yourself is how often does these structures happen? Okay, and if it's this simple, why is it that any other person is not becoming profitable with these structures? Okay, so these are the major questions you would have to ask yourself. But there are so many things involved in this simple structure. Okay, so that's why I am here today, and I'm going to teach you how to trade this structure. But I don't want this video to be so long, so maybe I'll definitely be breaking it into part 1, part 2, or definitely part 3, like that sequence. Okay, so let's do away with the simpler structures first before we continue. Now you realize that anytime there is a break, okay, anytime there is a resistance, there is a high, that high becomes a resistance. Okay, that high becomes a resistance. So for instance, this high, you realize this high was a resistance, then the market broke it. Okay, and this one too, same as this one too. Okay, now how do you go about these structures like this? How do you go about structures like this? Now you realize that anytime there is a concept in the forex markets where we say anytime there is a resistance and the resistance is being broken, it gradually eventually becomes a support. Okay, anytime a resistance is broken, it becomes a support. So I would do another video explaining the psychology behind the fact that if any time a resistance is being broken, then it tends to a support. So I'll explain why if a resistance is being broken, that same resistance tends to become a support. Okay, yes.